What is going on, everybody? This is Justin Martinez, aka Jay the Sports Dude, coming to you all live from my apartment. Hopefully, you all are staying at your homes as well, practicing social distancing and staying safe during this pandemic. And I'm here to provide y'all with a little bit of extra entertainment. That's right, folks. It is time for episode number 5 of Stray Shooter, the offseason web series that's all over the place as we talk about a little bit of everything with players from New Mexico State. And joining me today is one of the most promising players in the WAC. He was steaming all season, cooking guys on the court. Jabari Rice, welcome to the show, my man. How you doing?
How you doing? How you doing? Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you taking time to talk to me today, man. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Just staying safe, staying away from people, trying to social distance. It's been crazy, just all the stuff going on, just with the riots and stuff like that. So, today I think I might go down. They're having one in Las Cruces. I might go down there and support for us, just to know that, just to have the community know that the basketball team is supporting everybody and supporting this thing that's going on around the country.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I saw that Tennessee had actually also posted a photo of him with a couple of his friends. I don't know if they were any from the team, but he was out doing that.
Yeah. He went already. Yeah, he beat us to it. So we're gonna go as a group today.
Oh, okay. Who are some guys?
Yeah, Wilfred, Clayton, Tennessee, Marcus, just all the guys that are here right now.
Okay. Very cool, man. We're going to go ahead and jump right into right now with segment number 1, which is called the Film Room. And what this is I found a couple of your best clips from this past season. You're just going to help break it down for the people. How's that sound?
All right, for sure. I like that.
Cool. Now, one of the things that impresses me the most when watching your film is just how aggressive you are on the glass, especially as a guard. I think it's really good to sort of take the weight off the shoulders of some of your big men. And not a lot of people knew that you actually had the 4th most offensive rebounds on the team last season, standing at 6'4", and you got a couple of them here in a game against Denver. So let's go ahead and take a look at it.
Orekoche again goes up with the rebound. Goes to Rice over the back and gets it to go. And he gets the foul.
All right, now you want to talk about just pure effort. You're out hustling this guy, Jace Townsend, down low for Denver. He is 6'3", so an inch shorter than you, but obviously he's boxing you out. He has the advantage.
Yeah.
Still get the board twice and the and one. Just walk me through this play a little bit.
Start when Trev, I think it was Trev that took the shot, right? No. That was Yvonne took the shot.
Yvonne
took the little posting. And honestly, when Yvonne gets the ball in the paint, I just get towards the basket just because that's how I am. Just try to be around the basket. But once the shot go up, I just try to feel how a player's guarding me or how a player's boxing me out so I can know if I need to be physical or use more finesse. But it seemed like he was boxing me out pretty good though. But once I got one hand on the ball, I just was determined to grab the ball. And once I got 2 hands on it, I took it away from him, put it back up. And then they wasn't gonna call a foul if he didn't fall, and I didn't fall over him. But it wasn't supposed to be an and one, but it turned out to be an and one. And it was like a tough time in the game because they were coming back too.
Yeah, definitely. Now, as I said, you were up there in terms of offensive rebounding numbers this season for the team. Just how much have you really made that a point of emphasis of being one of those aggressive guys on the glass?
I wouldn't give the credit to me. I would give the credit to my coach. He saw it in me. I didn't come in here as a rebounder, but he saw it in me. He knew I had the natural feel of rebounding. And so that he just pushed me every day to crash hard, go to the glass. And just because I play hard too, so I did get rebounds, but I never really noticed how important it was till Coach Jans made it a big thing. So really, I give all the credit to him, and I just go hard every time, every day. I just do the same thing and turn it into a habit. In the game, sometimes I don't know, but a lot of people don't know, but I'm at the rim almost 80% of the time. Any shot goes through or missed. Even if I get it or not, I'm right there in the front in the mix always. So.
Yeah, definitely. Now, you mentioned Chris Jans. He did say at the beginning of last season that he felt you were the most aggressive defender on the team, and you put that on display here in our next clip in a game against UMKC. Let's take a quick look at it.
He's gained 15 or 20 pounds since last year. He's got a world of potential. Here he comes. Steals it on the wing. Lobs it for Queen, who flicks it in. He wanted to dunk it. Perfect pass by Jabari.
I remember that play.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're in a bit of a tough spot here because both Trev and Yvonne end up sticking to Brandon McKissick at the top of the arc. So you're left guarding a guy down low and on the left wing. But as soon as McKissick plants that left foot, I just love the explosion, that burst of speed that you use, because it's the only place the ball can go at that point, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is what I did. After he came off the screen and roll, Yvonne is ready, so it's gonna be hard for him to get back. And McKissick has a chance to bounce pass, but Evan, I think that it is Evan. Evan's right there in the mid. So if I took a little glance, saw Evan in the mid, and I knew that once that's cut off and he picks up his dribble, the only thing he's gonna do is reverse and look for the sit in with the big. So I just took away the reverse and I timed it well and got it. Trev should have finished that with a dunk, but he said somebody tripped him though.
Did you tell him that? Were you a little disappointed?
Yeah, I was like, man, why you ain't dunking? He was like, the dude pushed me. I was like, all right, that's cool. I'll take a little rim graze assist. I'll take it.
Yeah. But yeah, what I like the most there is that you're just keeping your eye on the ball at all times, because this guy on the left is really just standing still. Really no point in just sticking to him like glue, right?
Yeah. He's not rolling up. He's not rolling up or anything. He's just standing there. And plus, he's not a shooter. He's a non-shooter. I think that's like Franklin or something like that. Yeah. He's like a non-shooter. So I wasn't even worried about him catching and shooting. I was either trying to steal the ball or short close out and take away the post feed.
Yeah, definitely. I think Frank Camgain, I think is his name, something like that.
Yeah.
I might be getting that wrong.
I'm like, yeah.
All right, well, definitely moving on to the next play.
Sorry.
You're good. You're good.
My dog was tripping. Okay.
Oh, what kind of dog is it?
Yeah, a boxer and a Rottweiler.
Okay, got you. All right, moving on to our next clip here. Now, as I said, we saved some of your best clips from this season, so I think you have an idea of which one is coming up next. Probably the best play of your college career so far, which was a game winner against
Utah. Gilliard into the forecourt. Aggies trail. Rice for the win. He banked it in.
There it is.
That was tough.
All righty. Now, obviously, spectacular play. The thing that sticks out to me here is the elevation you get. It's just 2 quick dribbles, and you're able to rise above a taller defender with a pretty good wingspan. I'm blanking on his name right here, so I apologize. But still, to get that shot off and get high pressure, just walk me through this play and what's going through your mind.
I'm at the free throw line, and I kind of give Ev a little nod to tell him, like, I wanted to come my way because I was feeling kind of confident, and I'm pretty sure everybody was kind of confident in me, but I wasn't really too much trying to take the last shot. I wanted it. I wanted another opportunity after UNM, after I missed the game time shot. And so I ran down. We had an agreement, but I ran down on the wrong side. And so when he started to come down, I was like, wow. Like I literally ran down on the wrong side. So I just curved around and went all the way around to the other side, caught the one dribble. And I really should have went in for like a layup or a mid-range, but I was just eager, to win the game. I thought I had less time than I did, so I rised up for the jumper, and he was kind of late. He thought I was going to drive too. I know he wasn't expecting me to shoot the three. And so when I did shoot the three, it ended up going in, and once it hit the backboard and went in, it looked like it just, like my eyes were blurry. Like I really didn't see how it really went in. It really looked like it was just rolling in there. And then once the buzzer sound, just everything. I really didn't see how good the play was until like people were showing me replays and stuff.
Yeah. So you're telling me this was actually a little bit of improv here on this play?
Might have been just a little bit.
Hey, as long as it goes in though.
Yeah, for real. I'm just glad we got the win. That was so much riding on that game.
Yeah, definitely. Now, you mentioned the UNM game. You had that shot in the corner for that one, and it didn't go down. Just how much did that motivate you moving forward for the rest of the season?
Man, you don't know. I was hurt. I got in that gym, and I used to get in the gym like crazy, and I overworked myself at a point. Like I started to overwork myself. Like I was so tired. I wasn't producing the same way just because I was working so hard. And so I had to – and it paid off, I guess. I didn't have to chill. I've been working the same way. I just kept working, just found a way to cope myself and help, like, breathe and all this stuff, yoga and different things like that to help around it because I wasn't going to not get in the gym more because that really hurt me. It made me shoot more jumpers, made me shoot more game shots, everything like that. So it just made me go harder, honestly.
Yeah. Definitely. Moving on to our next segment here. This is where I like to find a throwback image of the guy that I'm interviewing. Now, we found some good ones so far. We found Terrell Brown back in his high school football days. We got Evan with, I think, was his first ever interview back in the 8th grade. And I got to say, you don't have a whole lot out on the internet, but I did find something from a month ago. It's not a real throwback, but I just want to get your reaction to it. How's that sound?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. So this is a tweet that you sent out where you said, "Do I really look like Rondo?" And then we actually had somebody reply to you, and they got a perfect photo comparison, at least. I want to know who at first told you that maybe you had a little resemblance to Rajon Rondo, and do you see it with this photo here?
Yeah, that was it made me laugh right there though. That's a really good photo. That's a really good photo.
Yeah. Who was the first person who told you that you look like Rondo?
I really looked at him on that one.
Yeah. What made you send out that tweet? Who told you at first?
I was in well, when I first heard it ever in my life, I was in like a summer camp back in like 9th grade, and this lady came up to me and was like Rondo is my favorite player, and you look like him. And then everybody in the whole camp was like, oh my God, Rondo. And they just called me Rondo the whole time. But I didn't really even play basketball. I played football. So like I was like why? Why are you calling me Rondo? Like I don't even play basketball. And then just stuck with me, I guess. A whole bunch of people just say you look like Rondo. So I just be like, all right, whatever.
Yeah. Now, I got to admit, this led me down a little bit of a rabbit hole, Jabari. So what I did is I went on this site called Celebs Like Me, where you can upload an image and it'll show you who you most look like, which celebrity. And I went ahead and I did that with every single player on New Mexico State's team. And I went ahead and I saved a couple of the best ones, and I want to get your reaction to it. How's that sound?
All right, bet. Let me see that.
Okay. Now, fair warning, these are not the ones that I feel are the most accurate. I don't want anybody coming at me for it. This is just the ones I thought were the funniest or randomest connections here. So our very first one is with Evan Gilliard, and we have a comparison to LL Cool J.
Oh, wow.
I think this
Hey, that's a good one. That's a good one, bro.
Yeah, you can kind of see just a little bit. The smile in the jawline, maybe?
Yeah, the jawline and the eyes, too.
Have you ever heard of this, or has this ever come to your mind?
Never. That's crazy.
All right, going on to the next one. This is one half of the dynamic duo from Centennial. This is Bryce Rewalt, and we have a comparison to Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone.
Oh, wow.
What are your thoughts on this one?
Wow, that's dead on. That's almost like 95%. Right? Wow, that's like 95% right there. Evans was like 80, but this one is good. This is a good one.
Yeah, so they were both pretty decent then.
Yeah, facts.
Now, I got to say, are there any other guys on the team? Are there any like running jokes to the team of any guys that look like celebrities?
Man, it's a whole bunch. Like, shoot, Clayton, we say he looked like Wale, stuff like that. Sean, some rappers he looked like. Trev. I mean, everybody looked like somebody to somebody, you know. So but we like to joke around always, though. That's why this is my favorite team ever, though, because it's never a dull moment with them.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to move on to our next segment here, which is called Hometown Heat. And what this is I found a couple of restaurants from your hometown, and you're just going to tell me if it's legit or not. How does that sound?
Yeah, got you.
All right. Now, this is actually pretty cool for me because I've lived in San Antonio for the past decade or so. I'm actually from Edinburgh, Texas, down in the valley. So, fellow Texan, you're from Houston, H-Town. And let's go ahead and take a look at some of these. Now, this is a pretty interesting one. The first one, usually I reserve it for the weirdest food that I can find in Houston. And what better place than the Houston Livestock and Rodeo Show, where they have a very interesting thing here. This is a turkey leg with hot Cheetos and cheese from Biggie's Barbecue. Jabari, is this that? I see you're shaking your head. Is this that hometown heat?
No. I've never seen this before in my life. Never seen this before.
Would you ever attempt
That's a bad combination. No way. That's a terrible combination right there. I don't know. I've been to Biggie's before though, but didn't see that.
Okay. I mean, I think they usually reserve like the craziest things just for the rodeo. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah. Facts.
yeah, because I know they
But
have
they do have a
hoops,
lot of stuff
right?
at the rodeo, like the rodeo livestock that everybody goes to. They do have a lot of wild stuff though, so I'm not surprised.
If you had to guess, rough estimate, how many calories do you think this would be?
How many what?
Calories do you think this is?
Man, at least 3,000 plus.
Yeah,
No kid, like at least 3,000 plus. More than
de-
that.
definitely. All right, moving on to our next one. This one is actually a very solid place. Let's go ahead and take a look at it here. Now, this place is called Hogs and Chicks, I believe, and this is actually in Missouri City where you played your high school ball. Is this
Yeah.
that down heat? Does it get the thumbs up from you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Always. That's the spot right there. That's the spot.
Oh, really? I actually got one right. Normally, I don't think I've gotten anybody actually telling me I've actually eaten there before. So I got that one this time.
Yeah. Yeah. I ate there before. It was pretty good.
Okay, for
Yeah.
sure. Now,
I ate there like
obviously,
maybe 3 or 4 times.
okay, got you. Did you live in Missouri City or was it like Houston and you traveled there for basketball? How did that work?
Nah, Missouri City, Sugarland. It's like a street. Once you pass one way, you're in Sugarland. Once you pass this side of the street, you're in Missouri City. So basically, I lived in both. But I mean, like you could say, most of my life I've been in Missouri City. But
Uh,
it's really no difference like that. Missouri City, you got a whole street with Missouri City, Sugarland, and Stafford. You can cross into any one of them at like any time on any road. So like, it's
uh,
kind of weird, but I'll say Missouri City for sure.
got you. Now, what I like to do for the last one is I leave it up to you. So, as the native, as the local, just what are some places that you recommend? And in post editing, I'll pull it up here on the screen for people to see.
Um, the Turkey Leg Hut.
Okay.
That is probably one of the best spots to go to. Um, I don't know. Gringos is pretty good. I don't know if anybody's ever been there. Gringos is pretty good, but it's a lot of like small owned businesses in Houston
Mhm.
that I really don't remember the names just because they were like newly built when I went, but they're pretty good. So if you go downtown and just go more towards like the restaurants and the attractions like Discovery Green Park, you'll find like a whole bunch of great food places.
Okay. Yeah, those family owned ones are always the best ones, right?
They're the best ones for sure.
There we go. All right, moving on to our last segment, which is a fan Q&A. Now, what I went ahead and I did is I reached out to Aggie Nation. They asked you a couple questions. I'm just going to read them off. How's that sound?
Yeah, for sure. I answer.
All right, cool. Let's go ahead and pull this up here on my phone. So our first one is going to come from Anselmo Encias, and he says, you return as a third-year player and a junior. What would be your advice to the new players as they transition into the program?
Trust Coach Jans for sure. That's the number one thing. Trust in Coach Jans, no matter how he speaks to you, how he's disciplining you, anything like that. Always trust, because at the end of the day, he's always right, always. So just trust and be ready to work, because work is the definition of work is at New Mexico State, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. Now moving on to our next one here. Speaking of the new players, Pedro Pistolero says, can you share with us one strength of 2 or 3 of the new players that haven't suited up in a game yet?
Athleticism is what sticks out to me the most. We got a lot of athletic players, a lot of players that I feel like have their stuff under control rather than like wild players that need to be brought down. Like I feel like they're already under control players, and that's a good thing because Jans brings the monster out of you. So like if they're already like this and coming out, they're gonna they're growing instead of staying the same or slowly growing. They're growing faster, So I really like that those guys, and then some of those guys got a lot of winning mindsets. They come from winning programs a little bit, so yeah, athleticism is probably number one though.
Definitely. And then moving on to our very last question of the day. This comes from Tobias Rodriguez. And he says, you stayed last summer in Cruces to work out, and it showed in your game your sophomore year. Are you staying again this year? And who taught you this hard work ethic and determination?
You asked who would I give credit to?
Yeah. Are you staying in Cruces to work on your game again this year? And if so, just who taught you this work ethic of yours?
Um, Ambition has always been in my dad and my mom. They've always been the providers. They've always been the ones to always push me to my limits. And one coach I would say that just scarred me for life is Coach Hill. He was in my high school, my junior year when I started playing basketball, he just made it the absolute worst. And you could do nothing but fight through it, you know?
Mhm.
And it just became a habit every day just to not just sit around and not do nothing. You got to be active. You got to do something. And
Yeah,
so that's always stuck with me. But for sure, my dad has always been so ambitious. And so, like, I really just take after my dad a lot, and my mom also.
yeah, that's crazy you mentioned Coach Hill because when I was doing research for the throwback photo, I found a tweet from him. I think his name on there is Norman Dale, but then it's Coach Hill. And he said, I remember how back in high
Oh
school,
yeah.
yeah, you were in the hallway wondering about what scholarships you're going to get. Can you kind of just go back to that moment and just how happy are you with how everything worked out?
Man, that was up and down, a really big up and down. You know, senior year, I still had no offers. You know, and I was just starting to feel for basketball. Really, like I peaked my senior year. I started to feel for it junior year. You know, get accustomed to it, and then my senior year I worked that summer, and then I got better my senior year. Then I was averaging like 19 maybe, and so I still didn't get. I had one offer from Cameron University. It was a D2, and so I decided to play for Houston Defenders in the summer. And while I was playing, school was still going on, and I was getting offers from high major schools, like, but I wasn't a qualifier. So like I was so worried about what I was gonna do because I didn't want to go JUCO. I didn't want to go D2. Not saying to anybody it's ever wrong to go that way. I
Mhm.
just you just got to know what's best for yourself.
Mhm.
And New Mexico State called me and they brought me in. They were saying like they trusted in me, they believed in me, especially Coach Jans. He was the number one, always been the number one believer in me. And it took me a minute to realize it, but once I realized it, and my game got to this level right here, just from buying into everything that he's saying, it's just amazing to see like everything that happened. And I almost was finna go JUCO, not saying nothing wrong, but I wasn't supposed to be here, and so I'm here, and I took full advantage of it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's going to do it for this show here, Jabari. I really appreciate you for taking time to talk to me, man. Now, what I like to do here is I let the player I'm interviewing decide who I'm going to interview next. So I've interviewed Terrell Brown, Evan Gilliard, Bryce in Tennessee, and then Clayton, and now you. So who's another guy you want to nominate to see next week?
Okay. You mm, uh, I'd say interview. I would want you to interview Will McNair.
Okay. Okay. Big Will.
Will Will McNair. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. You've
See what
heard it
he's
here.
thinking about
Will
it.
has been nominated. We'll go ahead and make sure that we get that to happen, man. Jabari, thank you so much. And you guys watching, thank you so much at home. New episodes of Straight Shooter are going to be released every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. Jabari Rice, we are looking forward to seeing you next season, man.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir, man. You take care.
Peace out, Aggies.
All right. Peace out.